people want politeness. They want conformity. They want...
But art is not that.
Yeah,
art is the opposite of that.
And
art is in your face. Yeah, art is in your... That's one of the reasons I think I like graph a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's in your face. It's in the spot it's not supposed to be at. And you're going to look at it whether you want to or not.
Welcome to What's My Thesis. I'm Javier Proenza, and today my guest is Manuel Vdah Bracamonte, and I had to stumble through that because I haven't read your name that much. We were pretty new acquaintances. You were introduced to me by Gloria Sanchez. Tell me a little bit about your art practice before we get into I like to get into deep background, but tell me so that people have an idea what kind of work you make. I usually do that myself, but I haven't seen enough of it that I feel confident.
Yeah, a lot of my work, how would I say? I call it Mayan hybrids, and I call it hybrids because I introduce the past and mix it up with the future. So it's like I bring in certain images, but then I also connect it to what I'm trying to narrate with the future, the present. That's why I call it a hybrid. It's a little mix of everything. And
mind being the mind, like your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your influences with that kind of stuff?
At the moment, it's been...
Well, just growing up. Well, I guess, you know what, let's go into the background. My big setup question is, what's your earliest memory of making art that you can look back on and be like, damn, it makes sense that I never stopped? And then what's your, where was the moment? And maybe I've noticed that this doesn't necessarily happen to graph writers, but because you, that's another thing about you. They don't have as hard of a time deciding that they are an artist. Like they maybe, I think that like in art school, they make it so academic and so like philosophical and postmodern that it becomes harder for those students. But if you're already identifying as an artist because you write graphs, it just flows in. So maybe that is not necessarily, but like when did you really decide that you wanted to pursue it? Because you're pretty active, and you we were talking a little bit before the interview, and you hooked up a bunch of people into a collective that you are not even included in because it's for ladies and stuff like that. We'll get into a little bit of that later, but I want to get like the origins of you making art and where you're from and all of that stuff.
All right. I'm from El Salvador. I was born in El Salvador, and I was brought out here late 70s. So I'm a flower child. And I grew up in LA at the time.
Wait, you came out here in the late 70s. You say you're a flower child. That makes me think of boomers. And your parents don't seem like... If you came in the 70s?
I came in 1979. I was
You were born
months.
in
I was born in El Salvador, and
Okay.
I was brought over to the States in 1979. So...
But your parents, like, I wouldn't even consider them boomers, because that's like, boomers is like an American branding.
Nah, we're all Central American, none of that nonsense.
But like, you say flower child, what does that mean?
What does that mean? Because I'm at the end of the 70s,
okay,
1979.
But that suggests that your parents were hippies and that your name is like Sun Moon or something.
Oh, I mean, my name already carries stuff with it, and I believe that's one of the reasons why, even in what I got involved in, carries that with it. But yeah, I always say that because people trip out when I tell them, "Oh, you're that old," and I'm like, "You look this age and this and that."
Wait, bro, you're not that old. 79. That's like
I know, me too. I mean,
I'm 80, so like
right. We're like right there.
We're somos compadre.
Yeah, and
contemporaries.
Yeah. Just being around at the time when I remember seeing kids. At the time they were teenagers. These kids were painting at a little dirt yard, and I get close to it and I see that they're painting graph. And that literally blew me away at the time. Only thing I remember being really heavily influenced at the time was cartoons on TV. But then seeing kids almost close to my age doing their thing on the street.
How old were you?
At the time I was like 8.
8. Okay.
I was 8, and these kids were like already teenagers.
No, and I mean, when you're 8, teenagers are cooler than your parents. Or they start to be.
Yeah, so seeing that, and I still remember it was this old character. Maybe some of us still remember. It was a sprite character with the squirmy hair, and he had these little glasses. Well, this kid was painting them, and he was doing the sprite colors right next to it, and I still remember that.
Wow.
From that day on, I remember, I was dabbling into little things in school, they give you arts and crafts and all that, and I would I still remember I would stay in the line. I would do my stuff and they would all like color make sense. Where other kids were like getting out of line, you know, just doing their thing, you know, and then all these little kids would trip out on my work because like, how do you stay in the line? Why does it look the way it's supposed to look? And I was like, I don't know. That's just the way it goes, you know? So that always stayed with me. And as I started going through school, you know, you get caught into the crowds and all that. And you get influenced certain ways and others. And I did my journey, you know, and junior high, I still was drawing, doing my thing. But again, you're exploring, you're trying to find yourself. You know, that's when I started getting more involved into graffiti. You know, at the time it was blowing up. It was the 90s. The LA riots were like, we were about to hit it, but then it happened. And then once that happened, like the whole street scene changed up.
How did it change?
A lot of people were kind of getting along. That's what changed at the time. Okay. Like everybody was more, it was different. The vibe was different. I mean, I was a kid, but I could still feel the vibe was different. And then as we went along into the 90s, things got a little hectic with the tag banging, people wanting to be between hoods and tagging crews and all that. And that was, you know, us trying to find yourself within all that too was kind of wild, seeing everything happening. And then a certain moment in that time in my life changed. It changed for me because I had an instructor. That's why I give props to instructors. A lot of teachers that, I mean, during that time, a lot of teachers didn't care.
Yeah.
And this one teacher, she always was on me, was always on me. And throughout the years I went to Belmont High. And through that time that I was there, her name was Miss Stazer. She would always tell me, I'm going to get you to learn how to do a portfolio. I didn't know nothing about that. I was like, yeah, I'll catch you next year.
What did she teach?
She taught art.
Okay.
Like
so
regular traditional art. Yeah, she was an art teacher. And she told me, right? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it next summer. Next summer came around and she was like,
spotted you when you were coloring within the lines, like way back.
Like way back, bro. Like she saw it. And it was crazy because she was like that around a lot of the like folks that I used to run with that were really good at the time. And she would get them into programs like USC programs, stuff that we weren't used to. Coming out of where I was from, like downtown LA, MacArthur Park, Echo Park, all that, like you're not exposed to art like that.
Yeah.
And she was pretty much telling us, showing us stuff. And I still remember.
What kind of stuff did she, sorry, I didn't mean to stop your flow.
No, that's cool. She ended up showing me this book, and this book had all these like artists that were pretty much that looked like me. You know? And I started looking into it, and then there was this. Oh man, I don't even remember the names, bro.
No
it was so there was so many images in there, but I was just like, "What? Who's this? Who's that?" And then
I want to acknowledge that you showed me a lot of respect by wearing a guayabera to the house.
Oh, thank you.
I'm Cuban. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I did it, but that's cool, man.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it was how can I say? It was at a moment when you were trying to find yourself, didn't know what's going on.
You're a teenager?
This teacher sees that, and then she ended up showing me how to do the portfolio. During that portfolio time, I had scuffles between things that were happening in the street, and she ended up pretty much telling me some real stuff, like, why are you taking care of other people's shit? Why are you getting involved in things that don't involve you? You know, like you're literally sticking your neck out for people that are never going to be there for you.
Like what? Yeah.
Just being involved in street politics and that type of stuff.
Banging?
Yeah, you know, and I was getting chased to school and all that. And then she was like...
Chased by cops or by the people?
By oppositions, you know, it was just crazy stuff like that. And I look back at it now and I was like, dude, that lady saved me, man, because if I wouldn't have listened to her, I probably would have ended up somewhere where I wouldn't be here right now talking to you.
Yeah.
But because of her showing me how to do a portfolio, I didn't know that she was planning to put our portfolios into a program. It was a CalArts program called CAP.
Okay.
And this program at the time was taking in inner city kids from all over the states. So they were bringing people in for the summer, having them stay at the campus, pretty much giving them the full college experience. And for a month. And you would just go in there, do what you were trying to major in. At the time, I was into animation.
Okay.
So I just did my portfolio, turned it in, and then she ends up telling me that I got accepted to this program. And I was like, what? For me, that program was like when kids used to, after they would graduate out of school, they would go to Cancun and stuff like that. Well, that was my Cancun, going to this art camp. And man, I shit you not, that program changed my life, bro. It made me, when I came back like if I had just came out of jail. And my mind, went straight to
probably a lot better though.
A lot better. Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it was different. The experiences,
like actually rehabilitating.
Yeah, literally.
Your mindset.
Yeah, like I feel like
digging
it was
you deeper into the shit, and then having to be in a gang. I mean, if you're coming,
You're right. And then I met people up there that were from up north. I didn't know, we didn't like stupid stuff that nowadays people they don't get along because of the stupid politics. None of that existed when I was there at that
Like, what
program.
do you mean by that?
Some people, when it comes to like street politics, if you're out here in Southern California, they don't get along with people up north.
Okay.
All that, and to me, it's
so it's
like,
not like national politics. It's more it's
within
more like
the
turf.
State. Yeah, but to me, it's like even that nowadays, I don't pertain to it because again, those are not my politics.
Yeah.
I don't run with that. I run on my own, and it's just when you're used to a certain world and that's all you've seen within that box, that's all you think that exists, right? But once you start knowing and you go outside the box, you start noticing that there's more than that inside the box. And in my mind, I always had that. I always knew that there was more to this. I always knew that this wasn't it. Like I knew that life I was living wasn't it. Like I knew there was more to it. And she ended up pretty much showing me that.
But I think that's interesting because I remember also having like a really strong sense of loyalty to people that were like really toxic to me at the time. I was in Miami. It was more drug people related.
Yeah.
But it's not, it was just like, they were my friends. And, I've been processing a lot of that shit. Like once you're out, like you said, once you're out of it, you're like, God damn, that was crazy. Yeah. I remember I went to a study abroad program and I could see where I sat on the spectrum of like fucked up childhood.
Right.
Not fucked up childhood where like fucked up environment. Like where the access to drugs was very prevalent.
So easy. Everything.
And so like, but then I met a dude from Boston and I was like, that guy is beyond where I'm at, and he was just getting drunk all the time. And then like it's interesting when you see those like nuances about like, I bet you saw a lot of that shit in
I did,
at the camp.
Like you've seen the differences and then you're like, damn, this is where I stand. This is where I'm at. This is where a lot of new experiences. The cool thing about that program is that a lot of the people that got accepted were a lot of my friends. Okay. I was a lot of artist friends. And to this day, I still talk to a few.
Yeah.
So I still bring that up. Hey, man, remember when we went to CalArts, bro? And they're like, oh, yeah, dude. So it's like, it made that, I mean, man, that was so long ago, bro. Like, to me, it's been over 20 years, but I still go back to that because it drives me. And it takes me back to the work I do now, and if it wouldn't have been for that teacher, again, I wouldn't be here, So I think about that. And when the stuff that I'm involved in now that has to do with Promise Youth, people call them at-risk youth. I call it Promise Youth because there is possibilities and potential within them, just like I had. It just takes time and the space for them to be able to feel comfortable and be able to grow within. That's one of the reasons why I got involved in the work I do now, because of her. And I just feel art, you can teach a lot with art. You can tell a story with art without even saying a word. And then I also use that with music.
You play?
Poetry. Yeah, I mean, not play, but I used to do MC and hip hop.
Okay.
And I feel like when you start putting your words together, you paint a story without using a brush. So it's like I call that the audio visuals because you go back and forth.
Well, it's interesting that you say story because narrative painting, right?
Yeah.
Like painting is a narrative form as opposed to like photography and stuff. I've covered this before, so I'm not going to rehash it. But so I definitely get the sense that you are aware of like of painters that like of more European painters and stuff like that, like that kind of. I didn't even realize that they didn't have perspective drawing in Asian cultures until they got it from Europe. I thought it was just one of those things that like naturally evolved everywhere.
I feel it does, though. It's just these techniques that they supposedly in Europe they came up with, and I'm like,
well, no, one point perspective specifically in China that was like not they do the. I've interviewed somebody about this, and they were like telling me, I was like, oh, that's how I found out is this woman, and she was a curator here, and it's just interesting how that like. I thought it was like just language, like it was a given that everybody
like the terms and stuff everybody uses for stuff.
Yeah, but it's crazy. Can you before we get into a little bit about your at-risk stuff, can you elaborate on tag banging? Because I think that like
a lot of people don't know about it nowadays.
Well, and also like I knew kids that were into it, but I think that there's like a difference between like artists like. Not everybody that is a graffiti artist is tag banging, right?
No, I think at the time.
And what neighborhood did you grow up in?
I was Big Sur in Maryland, so I was like literally right behind Belmont, which the Belmont Tunnel existed at the time. So I was literally right there in the middle of downtown LA, right next to the business buildings, right by the harbor freeway.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
So it was a little. People would call it a little dump, but that was a spot, at least for us, that was my space. That was my little area, man.
So what is tag banging? What is like, I mean, obviously it's in the name, but
tag banging, I mean, pretty much what ended up happening is because we are on the West Coast and the type of influences that we have out here, during that time, a lot of people got involved into graffiti. Mm-hmm. And then what ended up happening is a lot of the neighborhoods, like gang neighborhoods out here, weren't getting recruits because they were going somewhere else. So then what ended up happening is, this is where I say the politics get involved. Certain mobs, the mob got involved, and we're like, well, anybody that's involved in graffiti pretty much has a green light. What that means is that they can get killed by any gang because they're not involved in their game. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is with gangs, usually you stay in one space. When it comes to a graffiti artist, you go all city. This is the difference between that and that, but it also caused problems. People go into certain neighborhoods, they paint, they get crossed over, and then that starts problems. And then what ends up happening is that crew starts getting attacked or starts getting approached by neighborhoods instead of graffiti crews. So then the environment and stuff makes you into that, makes you into a neighborhood. And then what ends up happening is either that crew gets lost within the area where the neighborhood's at that's trying to influence them, and then they become a clique. Or what ends up happening most of the time, because you have your own ways, you have your own ways of doing things. They choose to go the opposite, and then they become enemies. And there you go. The cycle continues. That's a vicious cycle, and it keeps going.
So wow, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that the gang. I always thought it was just. I mean, I always thought it was just like dudes, painters crossing each other out and escalating. I didn't realize it was.
Yeah, sometimes it's that, but then what ends up happening is when people are crossing each other out, the guy that got crossed out has a brother from a neighborhood, and then they start involving people that are not supposed to, and then it becomes this bigger mess. And next thing you know, you're involved in some crazy shit, and you're going at it, and you don't even know why. Yeah. So that was pretty much what that was, So the influence at the time was gangster rap.
Yeah.
1990s, all of that was in the air.
The Super Predator era.
Yeah, and then you would have a little mix of Wu-Tang, a little bit of that, little Method Man. That was another thing that kind of got me away from that, because I started hearing, I still remember, I heard that to Cal, the first album from Method Man at that CalArts summer camp. One of the homies shot it to me. He's like, check it out, dude.
Yeah.
I listened to it, man, and it blew me away, bro.
Biscuits is still one of the best songs.
Yeah, man. That
the bass
album.
On that fucking album, it's hard to imagine being in a car with that much bass nowadays, right? Yeah, no. Unless you're in like certain circles. But like everybody had that shit, and then they would pop that song, and it was like, oh, I didn't know that was there.
Yeah, man. It was just so, and then you would see it out there too. Like when I remember I was still going back and forth with people, and fools that were in neighborhoods were hating on Wu-Tang. Oh, fuck Wu-Tang, bro. It's all West Coast. And I'm like, why is this guy hating on this? It's just hard, dude. All right, whatever, dude. But that was to each their own, you know?
Yeah.
That had an influence on me, and that just took me into another path where I still wanted to be involved in graph, but I didn't want to do the tag banging. So I literally just wanted to paint, because that was my main reason. I wanted to paint. The reason I got involved was because that was it. I wanted to paint, just do my thing, you know? I didn't want to be out there causing havoc. So once I started drifting away from that, I started painting again on the street by myself. I got involved with other crews that were involved the way I wanted to be involved in the beginning. Older heads that were coming from the same era, but knew pretty much where they wanted to go, the direction. And that just took me into seeing other things and just realizing again, going back to the youth, you know, and just being like, man, yeah, we just need to bring something back.
Is it as, I don't know what the right word is, but how has it changed for the youth now versus when you were a kid?
Well, as a kid, you're painting for yourself. That's the thing.
No. I mean, in terms of like this cultural moment that you grew up in, seems like that it was easy to get caught up in things. Now you are a mentor to children, right? Or to younger people and to people in your community. So that's more what I'm thinking. Like, how has their experience changed? Because I'm thinking with digital stuff and all of that.
It's changed a lot, bro. It's not like before. I mean, I feel some people might say it's easier to go out and paint, but to me, it's still the same. The reason I say that is because you don't know what you're walking into when you go out and paint.
Yeah.
And then again, every experience is different. It's not the same. I tell that to people. I don't paint like that no more because I'm doing other things. But when I see youth doing it, I mean, I'm not going to tell them not to because I was there. You know, but I do.
It's their turn to do it.
Yeah,
they gotta keep it going.
Now it's your turn. But I also let them know, like, how do you want to approach certain things where you can make money off of it?
Yeah.
Because it's the truth. The truth about it is, like, how long are you going to be tagging for free?
Yeah.
You know, how long are you going to be doing these big productions for free?
It's funny you say that because a lot of artists just make art for free. You know, like in the community, it's just a different perspective. You know, it's a different interest.
I mean. It's cool to do it like that, but if you really want to live off of it, you need to get paid some one way or another. That's where the services come in. That's where instead of like, well, I'm not gonna do this and give it away, but if I have a service that can help somebody, it's like if you know how to fix cars, are you gonna do it for free?
Yeah.
No, right? If you can get paid for it, then you're gonna get paid for it.
Yeah,
pretty much that's what it is. It's a service.
And it's a skill too.
And it's a skill. And not
everybody has.
Yeah, not only that, but you're also, for me, what I also feel is important is being in that position, you can tell people, not only tell people, but you're walking proof that if you can do it, they can do it too.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. It's like I'm the walking proof that if I'm here able to talk to you and tell you that I've been through certain spaces and I'm here, that means that you can do it too. That's my main thing, being present. And I think that also involves in a lot of my work. That's why I involve some of the past within my future narrations, because the presence, you know, there has to be a presence. If we're in a room and they're telling you shouldn't be there, why are you telling me that?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, no, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
If it has to do with art, I'm gonna be there. And that alone, again, that presence, that resistance towards people that are telling you, you're not belong here, or you're not supposed to do this or do that. No, I am going to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I mean about that presence. You know, like I used to tell people at school, because sometimes at school, people take advantage of that. You know, they do more than 4 years and they're supposed to, or they don't know what they're doing, you know, and they're wasting money like crazy. And I'm like, bro, we're not even supposed to be here, you know?
Yeah.
And I try to give them a little thing, because I kind of saw it like that, because I saw people were like, oh, this and that, you know, you don't belong here. But I'm like, fuck you, I belong here. I'm gonna be here, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
And I think that attitude has gotten me into spaces where people have told me, you're never gonna do this or never do that. I'm like, for real? I'm like, watch me. I am gonna do it. Because again, it goes back to, I'm not gonna let anything stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do. It's kind of like they say, if it's what's yours is already yours. You kind of just got to put in the work and get to it.
You just reminded me that I recently posted a clip of, do you know Kristen Huizer?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, she's from she's from Commerce, but I think she went to Long Beach. She's friends. She has a studio at Munzon Gallery. I don't know if you know them.
No.
Oh, it's so always so fascinating to know the Latinos that don't know each other.
Yeah, this
is a research project to help me know who knows who.
Yeah.
Well, I posted a clip that I thought was awesome. It was obviously awesome because it got more views on TikTok. TikTok is like so fucking toxic. Like,
I don't even have it.
Oh no, dude! I post. I don't even use it. I don't look at any any TikToks or anything like that. I just automate post and then check to see how the posts are doing.
Yeah.
And I posted one about her about Kristen talking about using an EBT card at Erewhon as kind of like a silent protest, and the number of people that kind of like were unwilling to just couldn't understand and just were trying to like clown her, but ended up clowning themselves and not realizing how crazy their experience is different than hers, you know? And it's one of those things, like I used to get kind of like upset, and now I'm like, oh, you're an idiot and you're making it do better, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you for putting yourself on blast, you know? But it is crazy that because I don't necessarily have it in the same way, but I like being Cuban out here is not popular.
People start, you start getting thrown. You're probably in the situation where people throw stuff at you, and you're like, bro, what? I'm not even about that.
Yeah. Cuban, like people have this like this idea of like what a Cuban is, and I'm like, bro, I know Cubans that are cooler than all you motherfuckers.
Yeah, dude, I know. That's what I mean. Like your wide range of folks, you know, and it's like people get stuck on this little image of you, and it's I'm gonna break that shit and make you see what I am about. You know, that's my thing with that. Like,
fair enough. It's mostly Latinos get that I'm not, you know, but it's like other people that are like non-diaspora communities, you know, like not people that are like local kind of get a little skeptical of like of me and what my politics might be, and they probably don't like my politics either, but who gives a fuck, you know?
Exactly. That's my thing. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, exactly. And that's Latino. It's just puro Latino. That's how I felt about Kristen too. It's like, you know, your energy is a little bit like lower key. She's a lot more Cuban, like, you know. Oh, she's not Cuban, she's Mexican, but she's like a lot more. And I was like, god damn, I need more people like this in my life. You know, I've had people tell me I don't belong in spaces, and to some degree there is a moment where it's like I agree with you, but then at the same time I'm also like, I don't necessarily want to go places where I'm not welcome.
Exactly. You know when to go and how to, you know, choose the battle. You know?
Yeah. It's definitely. Like, because these people, is it intrinsically beneficial for me to defy somebody because they don't want me around?
Yeah.
Or is that gonna like do harm to me, you know, and my, like how I feel about myself? Like being around that is like, that hostility is not cool. But I get what you're saying. I still agree with the general idea. You know, I know you know these things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think you have to choose your battles with that and see how you're gonna go about it.
Because you're gonna catch shit.
Yeah. Either way,
people don't like it. People really don't like it. Especially like people want politeness. They want conformity. They want, you know.
But art is not that.
Yeah,
art is the opposite of that.
And
art is in your face. Yeah, art is in your. That's one of the reasons I think I like graph a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's in your face. It's in the spot it's not supposed to be at, and you're gonna look at it whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
You know. But then, how do you take that and teach kids how to use that? Right. I ended up, I mean, pretty much as an artist too, you grow out of it. You start saying, okay, I did my name so many times. All right, well, what else can I do now? I started getting involved in characters, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so then from there, I'm like, all right, cool, I can do characters. So now what else do you want to do? That's when I started evolving in my art. Instead of just being more focused on me, started becoming more community, because I wanted to put messages and stories on the wall versus my name.
Yeah.
That's what I try to...
Who were some influences for you?
Man, at the time, when I was involved a lot, it was Chaz. He's an old head. He's known for his calligraphy. And he's actually a local artist from like avenues in this area. Like, he's well known. Saber was another cat. He was one of the main guys that ended up doing the biggest piece on the LA River back in the 90s.
Oh, I'll look it up.
Yeah,
I bet you there's
Saber.
documentation.
There's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
Saber, AWR, Mear. Mear was the one that really taught me how to look at images within the graph. I pretty much do big productions, but on the mural aspect of telling stories.
Mm.
And his work was very involved with politics, was involved with what's going on at the time.
What was going on?
Man, like just the way George Bush was around.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that was going on, you know?
Yeah,
So he was literally putting all that on his art. It was very, at the time, nobody was doing that like that. So he was really exposing people to a lot of this stuff that's going on right now. So that took me into a space too where I was like, all right, I'm going to start learning more about myself.
Yeah.
I started getting into more of the background of where I came from, who I was, and that's how I started getting more into the Mayan glyphs. I started researching that.
The what?
Mayan hieroglyphs.
Okay. So do you have Mayan background?
I'm partly a little Mayan.
So you skipped all the trauma of the recent El Salvador and went back to
actually,
deeper, more happier times, or did you cover some of that?
We ended up leaving El Salvador in the time that we did because of the Civil War getting the way it did.
That was in the 70s for sure.
It was in the 70s, and then in the 80s it got worse. Yeah. Again,
have you ever seen Susan Maicela's books? On the, I think Nicaragua. I think she did also one of El Salvador.
I haven't, but I have heard of what happened in Nicaragua too. So I kind of, that's when I started learning about all that stuff.
I highly recommend them, especially anybody who wants to learn about these periods, because they are how I got to see. She was just out there like a photojournalist taking pictures.
Yeah, I have heard of her. Yeah, her work
some of her best work.
Yeah.
I've seen other stuff that she's done. It's just not as moving.
Yeah,
like I'm actually getting goosebumps talking about it because it's fucking like you see it. You know?
Yeah, I remember all of that. You know, learning. I mean, again, you're trying to find yourself, and at that time, I mean, all these labels were getting thrown out here. Chicano.
Yeah.
This and that. And I'm looking at myself. I'm like, I'm not Chicano. I'm Salvadorian. I'm not Mexican.
Yeah.
So I don't fit in that.
And you speak Spanish too.
And I speak Spanish. You know, so just trying to find yourself within all these things happening. You know, it was crazy, man. So I kind of went into my little cave and I just started doing my own research.
Mm-hmm.
And I got involved into Mayan hieroglyphs because I wanted to paint them on the wall. Okay. That was my thing.
Did you ever, when you were in Long Beach, did you ever like do canvas stuff? And like, do you still work like that? It sounds like you mostly think like it sounds like you didn't get, let's call it indoctrinated by
the school.
By school, like it seems like it just made you more you, as opposed, like the way that you talk about it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like you don't care that you went to school. I keep asking you about influences. You're not talking about like high-minded shit. You're just like,
because it was, school was, I went through my little identity crisis with school. Because when I went in, again, I knew what I was going in for, what I wanted to do. But when you go in there, they start breaking you down and telling you how to do things technically, right? And they start teaching you all these other things. I took advantage of that too.
Yeah.
But when I came out, I was a little bit lost because I was like,
that does that to you.
Where do I go with this? How do I go about it? Where do I go with it? And it took me about, I would say, probably about 5 years to get back into my own stuff.
Same.
And right now, I'm in a position where I feel I'm at my prime because the schooling is helping me do my work now, but it's not my background because I've had that before I even went to school. Like you said, some of us already go in, we know what we want.
Yeah.
When you come out is when you're all mind fucked because you're like, oh, they just taught me this, but I do this.
They made me think about every single thing.
You know, like I had an instructor tell me one time, he's all like, because we were doing, I think it was like 25 thumb sketches, and I started doing letters and all these influences on graph, right? And he's all like, I like these better than the other ones you did. And he's all like, why don't you go back to this? And I told him, if I go back to that, that means I need to go back to it, as in like I need to go back fully, not just make believe because I'm in school and play it off. And he was like, oh, damn, I didn't know it was like that. I'm like, yeah, when it comes to me and my work, I need to be fully involved.
Yeah.
I can't go back to that. And he was just like, oh, shit. All right. So he goes, how about we play with this? And I did. But again, it's like he was asking me to go back to what I was doing before when I was trying to kind of change away from that.
Yeah, and that's a weird thing because it's like
an instructor,
he's almost telling you like you've gone too far.
Yeah, so to me, I was like, oh shit,
rein it in.
Yeah, so it was cool. He was a life drawing teacher too, so it was pretty interesting.
How'd you like all that shit?
I love it.
That was the best.
Yeah, life drawing.
That shit so much.
Well, like honestly, now because of schooling, I got into a residency now. I'm at the Hive Gallery.
Okay. Where's that?
That's in Long Beach? Actually here in downtown LA at the Art District.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a big it's a residency gallery, so there's more artists, but they do monthly shows every month. And that reminds me of school. Yeah. As in like being around artists, like-minded people, fully immersed. Yeah. Everybody that's there is there. They know what they're there for. That exposed me to that. So it's like, even now, that's when I was like, I need to get into circles that are people have art, that are people are doing pretty much what I'm getting into, but know what's going on out here too as well.
Yeah, I think that is very important. I think that because of the show, I have managed to keep myself pretty much not necessarily in the proximity of like being in art school, but still at least pretty much involved, engaged.
The people that are involved.
Yeah,
definitely.
And like, honestly, so the show's called What's My Thesis? Because I didn't want to pay that much money for grad school, and I realized that I could just invite all the teachers.
Right.
So now I know like some of the best teachers in LA.
Man.
I mean, that's like, and I think that I mean, whatever. It's not cost effective, but it's still not in debt.
Exactly. Oh yeah, that's the part where I'm like, man, I could have probably done all this without doing that. But then it's like, things have to go through what they do. No, Long Beach was my dream school, bro. So to me, it's not like I took a L for that.
Yeah, no, and in terms of cost, it's like it's the way to do it. And I got into CalArts, which you referenced earlier, and that was like,
that one was ridiculous. I looked into it and I was like, I like this school. I've been here.
I'm like,
but it's not what I want to do.
When you were telling me that, I was like, well, how nice are they being by helping all these at-risk kids?
Yeah, it was like youth. Yeah,
I mean, like showing them champagne and being like, you're never gonna taste this again.
Seriously, man, it was an experience that if anybody was able to experience it, it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
It would have changed.
Was it expensive to do that program, or did you?
It was a free program.
That's
actually
crazy for CalArts to do.
Imagine it was a whole month too, staying at their dorms. You're getting fed, everything. And all you have to worry about is just going to class for what you went to.
That's like the hardest propaganda for art school I've ever seen. It's like, oh, you hate high school?
Right. And I don't know, man. That teacher, she got awards for that too that year because a lot of us got accepted. And it was all the hard work she did.
What's the teacher's name? Do you know it?
Her name was Miss Taser.
Miss Taser.
Yeah. I don't know if she's even still around, bro. But, man, wherever you're at, like...
Yeah.
She did the work.
Yeah. I don't have any teachers that really did me like that, but I struggled a lot in school just because of learning disabilities. So
I'll bet you felt and you knew when people were being genuine with you when they actually were trying to teach you. Like that's how she was. Like
No. I just don't. I'm trying to remember. I had one teacher that really helped me in the sense that he was a photography professor and he helped me. I was like, he basically was like, dude, you need to get on medicine. Because you're just that depressed, So I think that was kind of like the barrier for people to be able to reach me as well when I was in school at that point. But I never had like somebody that inspired me, I had topics that inspired me and teachers and that guy inspired me too. Yeah. But I never had like someone that changed my life. That's such a fucking intense thing,
And I think the way she did it just naturally, man. Because I'm telling you, once she showed me that book and I started going through it and I was like, who's this? Who's that? She was like, oh, I taught that kid. Oh, he's a part of this. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, wow.
So you're telling me that was the first time I got exposed to anything like that. And I was like, so you're telling me I can be in a book like this, like your students?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That's when that blew me away, man. And it's like, I was getting like, what is it? I was getting visuals of that world, right? Like school world, the world of schooling. And then I was getting exposed to street shit.
Yeah.
And I was getting all these mixed signals, like, and I was just like, dude.
But it sounds like you were putting so much effort into the street shit too. So it must have been. So that makes sense that like when you came back, your life was changed.
Yeah,
you know? It's like I can work on this, and it doesn't have to be. And I also see the allure of the culture of, you know, like it's almost like you know, the code of it. It's like living like a samurai, you know, or like, you know, or like a disciplined monk or kind of thing, right? Like, so I get the solitude, the camaraderie, you know, like it's like it's an interesting culture. I knew a bunch of kids. I knew a kid that rode Kaboom, and he told me the story of like one time one guy was just glazing him. It was like, "You're Kaboom."
Yeah, just like, oh, I've had that. And people are like, "What? That's you?" And they're just like, and you snatch a line like, "Yeah, dog, that's me." And they're like, "I've seen you everywhere." Like,
yeah. I
had one homie that was actually from this area. That's how he's like, "I knew you before I even knew you, bro." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "I seen your tags everywhere, dog." And I was like, damn, that homie, he made it through too. He's Minnesota. He came out of this area. You know, he was caught up in the hoods too. And I'm proud of that guy, man. The homie made it through. Homie David.
Yeah.
He made his thing. And he's pretty much saw the same thing. Started working with youth over there now.
Yeah.
Teaching them what he learned here. And that just shows me, man. And he was, the way I ran into him was crazy. Again, just him seeing my tag on the buses and stuff like that. And
that's how you guys met? That's
how we met.
Yeah.
And then we started getting involved in other stuff. And he went to school. He got me out there like to do public speaking.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's been a ride, man. It's been a dope ride, man. The people I've been around like have been a mad influence on me. That's who influences me. The people around me. It's not the stuff in Europe or this or that. It's always people around me that influence me and then that inspire me to keep going.
There's some pretty fucking good graffiti in Europe too, though.
Oh hell yeah, bro! I met
that culture is alive out
over there. It's so dope. Like I remember meeting someone in the '90s, and this was before MySpace, before Facebook, Instagram. Coming down out here to see all the graffiti, and at the time the Belmont Tunnel still existed, and he was out here from Italy. To come and take pictures of the work.
It's a lot of that shit in Italy for sure.
And then I was tripping out on him because he was doing what I was doing out here, but he was from out there.
Yeah.
So we both were working out in each other, bro. That was the dopest experience I had. And I still remember he wrote in my book. I have it somewhere in my stuff, you know.
And there's also poor ass people and gangs out there too.
Yeah, oh yeah, bro. All that world's a ghetto, bro. You know, that's just everywhere.
So that it's like an international culture.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it originated here probably, I would guess. Although graffiti is an Italian word. It comes from the word graffito, which comes from graffiare, which is like, so like when you say graffiti, you're actually referencing the shit that people carve into like
the engravings and stuff. Yeah.
Well, not even that. Like graffiti, like it's literally defacing like old monuments. You know, like sometimes you'll go to these like frescoes and there'll be like shit carved into them. And that's like literally where the term graffiti comes from, you know? Like it's such a funny old
term.
Old term and old culture that like evolved into.
And that's something that I remember in school too. I'm just the influences I had, I would bring it into my schooling, whether it was an English class or stuff like that. And I ended up doing something related to that, and the teacher's like, "You're never gonna get me into letting people paint on my walls." I'm like, "Oh really? All right, let's go there." So I dabbled into the history of it, how like the Templar Knights.
You don't like fresco?
Yeah, bro. I took him into history at the end. I was putting names out there. He wanted me to give it to him, and I was like, I can't, because these names people are still out there painting.
Oh yeah.
But he was like, "You did it. You convinced me to let people paint on my wall." And I was like, this is something that we've been doing from way back, bro. This is not something, it's not a trend, you know. This has been going on
for sure
throughout history.
And and frescoes are like the only paintings that we get from like the classical period, really. Like there's maybe some other shit that survived, but like because they were figuring out how to put it into the fucking wall
at the moment while it was wet.
Yeah,
bro,
while it was wet. Like, that's so.
Yeah, I love that stuff. That stuff I love, bro.
Yeah.
I love that the processes and things. I love that stuff. That always fascinated me. Like, so I think going back to that and bringing it into the future is kind of like how the baby steps.
So, like, would you say it's like Latino futurism, or is that I hate the term, but
I would kind of say that, but it's more like,
but it's just such a cringe term.
Yeah, it is, because I feel like we've been doing it forever. Like, I know when out here people were glorifying all the modern art in New York. Yeah, they were doing that in Argentina. They were doing it in Brazil.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they weren't giving them props for it.
No, but the CIA was pushing it.
Exactly. There's so much shit involved. And then you wonder why things went the way they did. And that's, again, learning, doing the research. You start getting a little mad, because you start learning that you got played, or you start seeing how things went down, and you're just like, damn.
Oh, it's really fun to have people all over the world hate Cubans, or all over California hate Cubans, because we're right wing, because we lost all of our shit. I think about like the inheritance that I lost. I would be like a fucking big baller. My family had been there for so long. They had built so much up. My grandfather's bike shop is still there. Like, he's a business owner, and all of that shit like gone. And it's just crazy. It's like it's so insane how they like lionize these people that are like villains, right? Like even Che is like not that good of a dude.
There's a lot of things that we haven't.
Even Simon Bolivar, not that good of a dude. Ultimately, it's just so funny. Like, but it becomes pop, and it becomes like European kids wearing Che shirts, and it's just like it's like people spend so much time, like we call them Americanos. We don't use the term gringos, but Americanos, they spend so much time being victims and being offended by shit. And
then they go out and do it themselves. They're the main ones doing shit like that, bro. Like right now.
Yeah.
This is where we're living, bro. 100%. This is exactly where we're living right now. And it's like, that's the part where right now for me, it's very important to have collectives, to have spaces where artists like myself are trying to say something, or are trying to at least let people know we're aware of what's going on in our communities.
And we're aware of what's going on outside of the world. Yeah. And you should maybe listen to what we're saying.
Definitely,
Because a lot of us saw this shit in Israel coming a long time ago.
So that's the thing. I feel that's the reason right now for me, what I said earlier was like, I'm going to be in spaces where people don't want me at.
Yeah.
Because right now,
you're going to talk about these things.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to speak on it. My work's going to speak on it, even if I don't say it. It's very important right now to do that, and to let people know that, you could be in the safe zone and you'll be okay with us. Like there's people that are thinking like you are too, and so it's just, again, it comes back to the camaraderie, right? The unity. That's how I kind of started getting involved with other artists, bringing them in and doing bigger collectives, because in my mind.
Tell me about Las Hermanas.
Las Hermanas, their group is called Regenesis, and it was about 18 artists, all hermanas, mothers, teachers.
And guests of the show are in
two of the guests,
so Dalia Palacios
and Gloria, they were two of the artists that were in there.
Gloria Jem Sanchez. I don't think we finished saying
that. It just, again, being around just artists when I was doing the graph, and then having meetings with folks, and then seeing, this guy knows how to do letters. This guy knows characters. All right, we can do something serious.
Yeah.
That mentality, and then being out in the art world, and like going to shows, you meet somebody and you're like, they're pretty cool. Okay, they're cool. Then I was like, wouldn't it be dope to have a show with all of them together?
Yeah.
And just have them do their thing. And that's pretty much what manifested out of that.
Regenesis is the collective of the ladies.
Yeah.
And then you've also done other stuff, right? You were just talking about a show that you just put together in, where was it?
That's the part of that. Like what I ended up doing was I was an event coordinator with La Misma Luna and Whittier. Whittier Boulevard, and that's how I got involved. Was able to bring the Regenesis Collective to them, and then I started having like monthly or about 2 months shows throughout this whole year with them, bringing in artists from on these shows. I was doing artist calls, open theme, pretty much letting artists highlight their work.
Yeah.
And my reason for that was because sometimes when you do certain artist calls, they have limits.
Yeah, they're restricted,
this and that. I wanted to get away from that at the time, to bring in people so they can highlight any of the work that maybe they were sitting on and they couldn't exhibit because of the limits, but they wanted to show it, or something that they were working on at the moment and they were excited to show. And it worked out. You know, I had a lot of good feedback. The shows are pretty cool. That's pretty much how I went with the Hermanas, the Regenesis Collective. Let them do what they wanted to bring in, any size, as much as they wanted, because again, the show was for them.
Yeah.
And it was organized by them. I pretty much just brought them in and let them do the thing.
It's also nice to not have to do things. I know from experience.
Yeah, I mean, the work was still there. I had to install and do that. Okay, yeah. But I mean, again,
decision making is a big thing off your plate too.
Yeah, that one right there was, I wanted them to have the full control of the whole project. And it was from the beginning up to the point that we got them to install the work. And it was cool, man. Like, it was pretty interesting. And for me, it just got me thinking like, all right, so maybe we can keep doing this in other spaces. And so right now I'm in the process of actually working with another hermana, and she's my prima, Livix. We're having a show actually at the Hive Gallery that's going to be for the Day of the Dead.
That's the one I was asking
about.
That
one. Yeah, that one's called De Parte. And pretty much we're honoring spaces, we're honoring people that we love, pets, anybody that you want to honor for the moment of the Day of the Dead festivities is what we're opening up the space for. And again, going back to...
What day is the Day of the Dead?
The Day of the Dead falls from November 1st, I believe, to the 2nd.
Okay.
But we're putting the show on November 8th because that's the day we got. But usually around November, there's always a lot of festivities, you know, towards that.
So it's like the day after Halloween, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. What we wanted to do was keep it open theme, as in like, not just let it be Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because I feel during the holidays, especially people that are, you know, come from the motherland, they miss their tierra. You know?
Yeah.
So I feel that right now is the time to honor that.
Yeah.
If you want to honor your pets, maybe a space you used to, like your childhood house, you know, you kind of go back to, you can honor that. I had one artist right now, he showed me the work he's doing. He said he's honoring his childhood. And I was like, damn, seeing the image that he brought together for the show, I was like, dude, that's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect. You're honoring what you want to honor for the show, you know. That's what I try to do with stuff like this, you know, kind of just bring people together and let them do their thing, and bro, you know, and then just go in, clean it up, you know, and just organize so where everybody looks presentable, and then go off of that.
Yeah.
No,
that's very cool, man. Do you have like a name for your project, or do you like?
Not really. I just go in, work in spaces, you know, and people know me as Diablo, you know, Diablos con Pintura, Devils with Paint. Pretty much that's what I work off of. But other than that, I mean, I just go in and do the work. You know?
Yeah. That's very cool, man. I'm obviously relate. I don't think enough people realize the benefit of helping people, you know, or of like, it comes with a lot of problems.
It does.
But it makes you a better human being. One of the things that we were talking about AI before we started, I was almost like, oh, let's start the episode for high retention with AI. But I have dignity. We were saying, so one of the things that I've managed to like, my cousin told me is like, apparently I'm kind of a bitch when I write to people. And so she uses Gemini. She's like, Gemini helps me with that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm wasting all this time and energy just like actually saying what I think. Yeah. And now ChatGPT knows that when I just give it a message, it's like, here's a polite and professional, because I've already asked it so many times.
Yeah, now it knows the way you want to go about things.
Huh? And it's so funny because I would never write it like that. And part of me is like, I'm such a phony. But then the other part of me is like, it's like I hired someone to do it.
But that's what people do, bro. They hire accountants, they hire people to look notary folks, look over their stuff, make sure it's what they want to say, and then they send it out.
Yeah. But it's funny, like it's just like I think that one time I was getting so frustrated with like just the little nuances of like people just being uncooperative or bad collaborators, and my mom was like, you need to just talk to your PR agent. Like she gave me the idea of like compartmentalizing myself. Yeah. And then ChatGPT took it to the next level. Where I'm like my immediate reaction is like, why are you just not fucking making it easy? And then I go, okay, these are the things that I want to say, ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is like, I got it.
And they break it down for you.
Yeah, and it's made my life so much easier. Like, man, oh, it's amazing how not saying what you want to say sometimes really, really fucking helps.
It does. You know? It does.
Well, cool, man. Anything that I haven't really asked you about? Like, I feel like I haven't really been too involved in the episode. You just have so much to say. So it's not fair for me to ask you if you haven't gotten anything out. But, yeah, like anything that you want to get out before we wrap up?
I just want to say, I want to thank everybody that's been next to me through this whole ride, this whole journey, and has actually believed in the work I've been doing. Because there's times when I don't even believe in myself. It's just
you're so much better person than me.
it's you get clouded up, bro.
Asshole, dog.
Yeah, I mean, it's taken a while, you know. But I feel like, it's just
I need ChatGPT to make me nice. You're fucking. I give you extra time. It's like I just want to say thank you to Jesus.
Yeah, I
didn't mean to put Jesus on you. You didn't say that.
But I just feel like, I mean, a lot of the times, like all these projects that I've been involved in and stuff that I've been doing, the people that have helped me, I didn't do it by myself. I had help. And I want to acknowledge that, because if it wasn't for them, the shows wouldn't have happened.
Well, if it wasn't for Gloria, I wouldn't have dope guests. Everyone that she sent me has been a heavy hitter, so and easy to talk to. The worst is when someone recommends someone and you're like, oh, this is gonna be this motherfucker doesn't want to say shit. I mean, it's my job to make him talk. So and that hasn't happened in a long time because I don't ask those people anymore. Yeah. But I get what I get it. I think it's really cool that like that you like your community. I feels like you've been here a long enough time that you know, like I'm still somewhat. I've always been a bit of a nomad, and I've always been jealous of people that like, you know. But then sometimes I would see like the drama that they would have, and it's like, oh wait, never mind.
You're like, no, you gotta know when to step in and when not.
Yeah. So you've been you're a master of LA politics, it seems.
I'm trying to, bro, you know, because even like within the spaces I'm walking into right now, working with the youth, these kids are involved. Like they're out there, they're active.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to talk to folks. Yeah. Again, it goes back to, I feel, even for me, that's where I feel I see how certain people were trying to help me, and some were just being dicks when I was a youth. And I'm like, I don't want to be that dick. Yeah. You know, I want to be a person that's actually listening to you and actually check you, like, bro, you can do this. You know, like, so that kind of like, the experiences I've had for sure have been a big guide for me. Yeah. Definitely. Because I'm like, I don't want to be that asshole, bro. Like, I'm supposed to be here helping these kids, man. I'm not supposed to, you know, so that sure, like.
I just don't interact with kids too much. So, but like, yeah. No, I get it. I definitely don't like people that are mean to kids. I used to coach soccer, and then at the club level, and I was like, all right, man, I don't want kids. I don't want to deal with kids. They're little sociopaths. They literally
their little like, personalities are crazy, bro.
But like until they hit a certain age, like I think it's like 6 or 8, like they have no empathy. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're like blunt about stuff. Yeah.
No, and they're just like, they just haven't developed like I feel like sociopathy is almost like you don't learn those things that other people do, so they're like, so little kids will just like fucking hit each other. And it's just like, dog, what the fuck? And true. I was like, I don't want this.
Yeah, kids are cool, man.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, cool. Thank you very much for doing the show. Anything that we can promote for you, man?
Just the art show we're gonna have November 8th.
Okay.
At the Hive Gallery.
I don't know that this is going to come out before that, but I always like to give people a chance to plug the shit that they're up to so that people know that they're doing stuff. Anything else? And your Instagram?
My Instagram is Diablos con Pintura.
Diablos. How to spell for non-Spanish speakers?
It's DIABLOSCON. Pintura.
You don't have to spell pinturas. But Diablos, I don't think that they know necessarily. Yeah. And I wanted you to, like, it's almost a satanic ritual. I think you're doing spelling it in Spanish. Yeah. All right, man. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much.
Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this conversation, like and subscribe. Really helps us. And we're trying to get somewhere where we can really get people exposure. So the more you help us with that, the more these artists get seen. If you enjoyed it enough to really want to support the project, we could definitely use the help. We have a patreon.com/what's my thesis is the address you go for that. We offer episodes early, and then you get on this beautiful patron scroll that you're seeing right now on the screen. And we've been getting a lot more people hopping on lately, and that's really exciting. Dope. It's like, it's super validating, and it pays for the bills because all that AI costs money. Man, when I stop running at a loss is going to be such a victory. But no, it's not a loss. Financially it is, but it's an investment. Yeah. Yes, well said. And $5 a month, early episodes you get on the patron scroll, and I'm not going to list all the people today because I still haven't written out that list. And I'm realizing that these episodes come out so late that sometimes I'll have the list, and then there'll be someone new that wasn't on the episode at the time of recording, but they're on the list. So it's a whole thing I'm figuring out. But we'll be back next week with another guest and another topic that may not be art related. Thank you, man. It was really good talking to you.
Grateful to be here.
I feel like a horrible human now.
Nah, bro, we're all good.
I do a bit. I'm not that much of a curmudgeon. All right, peace, guys.